Hey, what's going on? You are checking out an all new The RCWR Show coming at you Tuesday night of May the 22nd, 2018. Coming on a couple of minutes early. Honestly, I just felt like it. I just felt like, why not? Just why not? So, yeah, we're on a couple of minutes early. Hope you guys appreciate that. So, we're coming on live right now for this week only. We're coming on live YouTube and on Spreaker. I tried very hard to sync in our Facebook audience for the past several minutes, and it's so weird because I've never experienced any problems before with my Alienware laptop. I mean, this bad boy, I don't even think I've hit 6 months yet since I've had this. And for some weird reason, the past 3 weeks, I want to say 3 weeks, every time I've tried to launch the Facebook go live option, it's not happening. Like I go click live on the desktop and it's not connecting to the camera, it's not connecting to the microphone. And it's so weird because there was recently a Windows update that I finally had installed, restarted the laptop because it required a mandatory restart. Did that, and I went in about 20 minutes ago and I BS you not, it actually opened it up finally. I said, "Oh, okay, great. So I can now, all right, so it was an update that I needed to do." So I closed it out, went, did some last minute preparation, came back, opened up the Facebook app, and then the same thing happened again. Now, when I say Facebook app, I'm basically saying I tried accessing going live via Facebook from the desktop. The desktop. And for some weird reason, I don't know what's going on. So anybody that is familiar with Facebook, and in particular, you're familiar with using it on the desktop, you've had no issues, you're more than welcome to get at me. Maybe you can walk me through some troubleshooting issues, but I don't know what the hell's going on. I can open up my webcam, I can open up my mic on every other platform, but it seems like Facebook is the only damn problem. I don't know what the hell is up with that. I don't know if that's maybe an update software issue on Windows end, or if that's a update issue on Facebook end. I'm not really sure what to make of it. So for this week only, normally I could stream Facebook on my phone, but if I would have known, I would have charged my phone up, and my phone right now is only at about 33%. So there's no telling when it would die out. I mean, my phone battery is really, really good. I mean, I can stream iHeartRadio and all that stuff all freaking day. I got a Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus. I can stream music and all that all day. And by the time I get home, I would be probably at about 65% juice. But to be at 33% right now, that's just, I'm chancing it. I don't want to risk that. So how the hell y'all been, man? How the hell y'all been? Been a good minute since we've been on the air for you guys here, man. So of course, you know how we do here on the RCWR show, covering things all wrestling, entertainment, and beyond. Been doing so since 2011. This week, we're streaming on YouTube. We're also streaming on Spreaker, and we're streaming live via the RCWR Show app. That's available for free in the Google Play Store. Got multiple chat rooms. You can take your pick, hop on in there, say hello. So we got a game on right now. It's the final minutes. We got a game on right now. We got the Warriors leading the Houston Rockets 2-1. Last I checked in with the score, it is 37-38 Golden State's way. That's actually, I have the TV on pause when I had last looked at that score. So I would imagine it's changed just a slight little bit. There was about 4 minutes left going into the second half. Let's see where we are now. All right, so now Golden State is up 41-37. And it looks like there is 3 minutes, 46 seconds left. Nope, 40-41 now. Now we're in real time. It's 40-41. Golden State has the lead. You got about 3 minutes left. And we've got the last few minutes of SmackDown on right now. First time ever, Jeff Hardy taking on Daniel Bryan. Looks to be a solid matchup so far. We got Samoa Joe at ringside. Remember, whoever wins this match is going to be going up against Samoa Joe for the United States title. So if it's a situation where Jeff Hardy retains, then Jeff Hardy will be the one to take on Samoa Joe. And if it's going to be Daniel Bryan, then Daniel Bryan will be the one to face Samoa Joe. I would imagine somewhere Big Cass is going to be popping up because remember, they showed Big Cass earlier during the night, and Big Cass was on crutches. And it looks like this is some type of a running gag that's going on right now. So I would imagine Big Cass is going to be coming up. Whoa, Jeff Hardy tapping out. Jeff Hardy tapping out to Daniel Bryan. Holy crap. Holy crap. Damn. Was that for the United States title? I need you guys to correct me on that. If that was for the United States title, I need to know. So we're watching the final minutes here. See how this is playing out as we got Samoa Joe in the ring right now, getting in the face with Daniel Bryan here. See next week. Okay, so Samoa Joe just basically telling Daniel Bryan, hey, man, don't be cheering so fast. Next week, you're facing me, so you better get ready. Holy crap. That's what it was. Okay. Okay. So it looks like it was basically a qualifying match. Okay. So just to kind of get you guys caught up to speed, it was not for the SmackDown United States title. Actually, what it was a Money in the Bank qualifying match, so to speak. There was basically like a little bit of a mini tournament. So whoever won between Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy would go on to face next week on SmackDown Samoa Joe. And that would be a qualifying match to advance into probably what's now the final one of two spots for the men's side of the Money in the Bank, at least for the SmackDown side. So that should actually be a pretty damn good matchup, but you have to wonder how much of a factor is Big Cass going to be playing into this matchup. So speaking of Big Cass, now that I had this on pause here, let's see what happens now. Let's see if Big Cass is maybe going to come out. I would suspect so. They were teasing him earlier here. What's going on with Big Cass? Let's fast forward a little bit here. Let's see if Big Cass is going to show up. Got about 1 minute left. Big Cass might show up. Nope, no Big Cass. All right, so Samoa Joe's hyping up his match backstage with Renee Young next week. And that's it. All right, so yeah, no Big Cass. No Big Cass surprising Daniel Bryan. Makes you wonder if maybe it's going to go down next week. And we'll have to wait and see on that one. Meanwhile, we got Golden State Warriors. They've lost the lead now. Now it is Houston Rockets 48-43 with 90 seconds left in the second quarter as we get ready to go into the first half. James Harden just got a gimme for a quick, easy layup. Now it's 50-43. I'll keep you guys posted on that game throughout the night. So speaking of SmackDown, what a big week it has been for the WWE and in particular for SmackDown. So we've got multiple reports that's being put out there that Monday Night Raw, USA Network, that is staying right where it is. It ain't going nowhere else. USA Network, Raw, WWE, new arrangement, new deal. It looks like it's going to be going on for a couple of more years, but the USA Network decided, hey, with regards to SmackDown, we're not interested. We love SmackDown. It's all right. It's all right. But we really want Monday Night Raw. We'd rather take all the extra money rather than give it to you. We'd rather make that investment into other shows, original series, movies, limited series, things of that nature. Thanks, but no thanks, respectfully. We'll pass on SmackDown. So SmackDown had got shopped around for a new home. And a lot of us were under the impression that, well, hey, if this deal with Fox is going to be going down, then maybe it's going to be a situation where WWE is able to strike up a deal that'll send SmackDown to Fox, but under FS1. That's what a lot of us were under the impression for with regards to FS1. Now, I got to tell you, I am a big fan of FS1. I have been following FS1 for over 2 years now. It feels like, or almost 2 years. And really what had brought me on board to FS1, I love Skip Bayless. Now, I know he's very controversial. Sometimes he rubs some people the wrong way. He's kind of got that Bill Maher syndrome. Yeah, he's smart, he's witty, but some people look at him and say, asshole. So you can kind of put Skip Bayless in that same category. But I had a lot of respect and still do have a lot of respect for what Skip Bayless has contributed to sports as a reporter. All right. And he's always consistent no matter what he may say. Some people don't like what he has to say about LeBron James, right? Some people don't like what he has to say about Aaron Rodgers, but give him credit. He is always consistent in his beliefs and he backs it up with some facts that's really hard to get around. Okay. So when Skip Bayless used to have his old show on ESPN, which was First Take, and it was him, Stephen A. Smith. Love that combination. Used to love watching those guys. And then eventually Skip decided, okay, I need to go on over. It's not working out with ESPN. And I think in hindsight and in retrospect, I think Skip kind of knew that the writing was on the wall with ESPN. Maybe he saw some type of foreshadowing, if you will, as far as, there's going to be a ton of layoffs. I think I heard in an interview, maybe going back several months after he had joined FS1, why he decided to make the jump and everything. And he tried to do his best to not really say too much, but you kind of had the feeling listening to the interview that there was a part of him that knew that there was going to be some stuff going down. But he's had a really good home over on FS1 with Undisputed, and he's hosting that alongside Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe has his moments. Sometimes he can be a little bit too silly. But when you give him a particular topic where he really needs to be serious, really need to be thought-provoking, Shannon Sharpe can definitely deliver. Sometimes he has a little bit too much heaviness on the slapstick comedy. Joy Taylor, very smart. On top of being stunningly beautiful, there is, and I think that's really what surprises a lot of people, especially those that always look at Joy Taylor and they have a lot of sexual explicit things that they say about Joy Taylor as far as what they'd like to do with her. Don't believe me? Go check out some of the stuff on Undisputed Clips online, on like Daily Motion, mainly on YouTube. There's a lot of foulness that's going on. But when you strip all that aside from what people are saying about her sexually, everybody's giving her props. She has a brain as well. She knows her sports very well, considering the type of environment, family-wise, that she grew up in, who her brother is, all of that. So for me, seeing the original programming that's on FS1, you've got Skip, Shannon, Undisputed. You've got before that, First Things First with Jenna Wolf, not Shannon Sharpe, Chris Carter, and Nick Wright. They pretty much jumpstart the day every day before Undisputed. And then after Undisputed goes off the air, usually you have Colin Cowherd. You got his show. And then after that, you have Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd. And I sadly cannot think of the other guy's name because I honestly don't watch enough of that. I really don't like Colin Cowherd. It's nothing personal. It's just I don't particularly have I don't know. I'm just not really feeling his style. I don't particularly care for his execution. To each its own, but I don't particularly care for him. So the point I'm making is, after Speak for Yourself goes off, there's really nothing on that comes on FS1 during the week. You're lucky if maybe you're able to occasionally see a baseball game, or occasionally you see an MMA game, MMA fight, something of that nature, but NASCAR maybe, but there's really no original programming, like other than what I just described, that comes on there. So for me, I was under the impression that if SmackDown was going to be moving to Fox, that it was going to be officially part of the FS1 division. But it looks to be not the case. It looks as though SmackDown is coming to the Fox. And that really has you thinking, okay, well, where could it possibly move? And anybody that's been paying attention, and shout out to Steven. Thanks for the update as far as the score goes at halftime. We've got the Houston Rockets. They're leading the Golden State Warriors now 56-46 at the halftime mark. All right. So getting back to the talk of SmackDown, you look at the lineup that's currently on Fox. Fox has some really great groundbreaking hit shows right now, right? We can all be in agreement of that. Whether it's Lucifer, or you have Tim Allen's Last Man Standing, which recently got picked up. Tim Allen had been fighting hard, had been trying to get the show shopping it around to other networks that would take a chance with it, exploring all options available. Fox would be the one to come on in and say, all right, we'll give your show a shot. All right. So you got his show, which was pulling in really great numbers as far as viewership goes on ABC. That's coming in on Fox. So what did we just mention? We just mentioned Lucifer. We just mentioned Last Man Standing. You've got Gotham. You've got Lethal Weapon, which should be a very interesting third season because the guy that was playing Riggs, we talked about this last week, he got canned because of his shit attitude towards production crew, staff, everybody. Just rubbed the presidents, executives the wrong way. They decided, you know what, let's just fire this guy. Let's go in a different direction. They've hired Sean. I can't think of his last name. I always forget his last name, but he co-starred with The Rock in The Rundown. He was in the American Pie movies. I want to say Sean Williams, maybe. Somebody can correct me on that, but he's now going to be part of the Lethal Weapon cast. He's not going to be replacing dude as Riggs. However, he's going to be Riggs' younger brother. That way they can still use the last name to some degree. I don't know if maybe they're thinking maybe at a later date they can bring back the other guy. Who knows? I seriously doubt that. I think once you get that kiss of death, that's it. And there's no telling how detrimental that's going to be for that guy's career. Because I would imagine that as far as trying to get another thing going on with another TV network, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Sean William Scott, thank you. That's not going to happen. So, but you got that series. You don't have Brooklyn 999 anymore. That is now what? NBC. NBC has now picked that up. But you got Simpsons, right? And then there's a boatload of other shows that I'm missing. I know, but those are the main ones that jump out at me the most. So you've got that. You've got your 10 o'clock news. You've got The Simpsons. Simpsons, a long stapleton on the Fox network ever since a lot of us were born, right? So WWE is going to have some really, really great company when it moves to Fox effective fall of 2019. October 2019, I believe, is this deal going to be going down. So let's really rewind this a little bit, because for me, it's fun kind of going down memory lane and really appreciating this new opportunity that WWE has with Fox. I mean, let's just rewind it back a little bit. Everything starts in August of 1999, boys and girls. August of 1999 is very significant because that is when WWE SmackDown had made its debut. And keep in mind, this was 6+ years after Monday Night Raw had been in existence. All right. So you rewind it there and you look at the roller coaster that SmackDown has had as far as different networks that it's been on. I mean, when you really stop and think about it, I just said 1999. So SmackDown has almost been around for 20 years. Right now, I would believe as of tonight, they now have 979 to 980 episodes in the can. They're going to be definitely celebrating their 1000th episode before this calendar year is out. So that's something pretty awesome to look forward to. But you go back to 1999. Originally, the shows were being taped on Tuesdays and SmackDown was airing on Thursday nights. And the original deal that they had when they brought about SmackDown had started off on UPN. For everybody that remembers that, it started off on UPN and it stayed that way up until 2006 when UPN had a merger, if I remember it right. You basically had the CW, WB, they ended up doing like some type of a merger. So UPN would eventually become my network, if I remember that correctly. So we saw SmackDown. It got rebranded eventually as Friday Night SmackDown. It would move to the CW in 2006. And again, you had the WB or correction, you had the UPN and the WB merger go down. CW spawned as a result. And then you had the My Network. So you had SmackDown finding a new home from 2008 until 2010 on My Network TV. And then after that, they would make the jump to Sci-Fi. And we all know they'd be on Sci-Fi, which is owned by NBC Universal. They would be on that respected network until December of 2015. But right before they had made that leave, we would see during that period, come November of 2014, they would return to Thursday nights. This was all on Sci-Fi. And we all know that executives of Sci-Fi, people that were put in charge of Sci-Fi, they frowned a little bit when it came to SmackDown on the Sci-Fi network, because their whole thing is, this is wrestling. What the hell? We don't need this crap. Like, this is not us. This is not Sci-Fi. What the hell? So kind of rubbed them a little bit the wrong way, despite the fact that they were pulling in really good, decent numbers. So again, you had that move that went down with SmackDown being on Sci-Fi. Eventually, we would see January of 2016, SmackDown move to the USA Network. And then later that year, come July, SmackDown would go live on Tuesday nights. And the rest is pretty much history, as you guys are now caught up. So SmackDown has moved around quite a lot. Some would make the argument, well, it's kind of moved almost just as much as Raw has to a degree. You could almost make that argument. So SmackDown last year averaging about 2.5 million viewers, Raw averaging 3 million viewers, right? Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of SmackDown being on Fox. First off, everybody and their mama has Fox, right? Everybody and their mama has Fox. And what's really cool about having Fox is you don't need to have cable. You don't need to have satellite. All right. All you need is those little converters that's running around, or a unique digital box, whatever. And you can pretty much get all your local channels that way. Your analog, you can pretty much get them that way. All right. So you really don't need to be tied down to some type of a cable satellite package just so you can get Fox. Right. The other cool thing that's awesome about WWE now being part of Fox is, think about all of the cross promoting that's going to be coming about as a result of this. I mean, all the stars of some of those shows that I just mentioned earlier, right? The cross branding that way. Also, Fox, usually home of baseball, World Series. You're going to have some good cross branding, cross promoting going on then. Also, when NFL is in season, again, nice, good cross branding, cross promoting happening there. Now, if there's only one slight disadvantage, World Series, when it comes about, for the simple fact, depending on when Fox gets some of these games during the World season, mark my words, without a shadow of doubt, it will force SmackDown to 9 times out of 10 go to FS1 for that respected week. I don't think it's going to be as bad and consistent as it was. If a lot of you guys remember when SmackDown was on UPN, My Network 20, my God, I can remember so many baseball games. And it was baseball games that wasn't even of significance. It wasn't even playoff importance. It was just a baseball game on. Whether it was the Nats or back then the Orioles, right? It was insane because you would see SmackDown, it get bumped, and then you're going, well, when the hell is SmackDown coming on? And they did a piss poor job, and it was on UPN / My Network TV. It was a piss poor job that was executed, letting you guys know when SmackDown was going to be coming on. I mean, I could remember times, and you longtime viewers, you can back me up on this. I remember times when you could turn on the TV like Saturday afternoon or Saturday night, say around 8, 9 o'clock at night, and SmackDown would be on. Or sometimes SmackDown would come on at like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're going, what the hell? So it was really just what the hell. But I think with regards to Fox, there's going to be better promoting, there's going to be better awareness for when baseball does happen. And baseball is going to have to take SmackDown spot. I do believe in my heart of hearts, Fox, for the amount of money that they're putting out there. This is supposedly a multi-year deal, according to ESPN and the Wrap, of what, 5 years, I believe, at $1 billion. At $1 billion. So they're going to make it happen. I mean, they are going to get so much great advertising. It's not even funny. And I mean, look, the other thing that you guys got to consider, all signs are looking as though that the UFC could be working out a deal with ESPN. But there's also a possibility that the UFC could continue to do business with Fox. Because remember, they got a deal that is supposedly going to be expiring, I believe, later this year, later this fall. So just imagine if Fox is able to secure UFC. Because you look at what's happening with ESPN, everything that's been coming about with all the people they've been laying off, money that they've been losing left and right. Anybody that's been keeping track of what's been happening over at ESPN, a lot of the revenue they are losing, their analytics are proving to them. And it's not a situation where they're trying to manipulate the analytics. It's just legit analytics and logistics that are saying that as a result of many households cutting the cable, be it satellite or cable, they're just cutting the cable in general. It's hurting their revenue. It's hurting their bottom dollar. And as a result of that, there's been a lot of good, hardworking people behind the scenes or in front of the camera that have been losing jobs. So ESPN/Disney, they're trying to recoup on some of that money. And with Fox securing the exclusive rights to Thursday night football games, we still don't know who's going to be calling the Thursday night games. Now you've got the WWE. Potentially, they're going to be working out a deal with the UFC. They are becoming a juggernaut. Okay, so just imagine if UFC and all that is just under one umbrella. I mean, my God, just everything in general, when you really stop and think about it, it's like a freaking win-win situation. All right, so this is a really good move for WWE. It also puts them in a position where, hey, this is the big time leagues. You're on Fox. This is part of local channels. So just imagine, like, I remember when I first moved to DC back in 92, one of my fondest earliest memories was on Saturday afternoons. I used to be able to see WWF Superstars. Okay. And I remember shortly after that, they would show Thunder in Paradise. I can remember all the little silly shows that would come on after the cartoons, but definitely I remember we would get WWF Superstars. So keep in mind, back then it was in syndication, and luckily we were able to see it on Fox. So this isn't really the first rodeo round of Fox doing some type of business with professional wrestling. I mean, let's not also forget that there was a time that Fox had dealt with TNA. I'm talking about Fox Sports Net, long time ago. Despite the great talent of wrestlers that were available at that time working for that TNA promotion, despite some of the decent story arcs that you had going on, man, when it came to Fox Sports Net, they were just doing TNA any old type of way. And anybody can tell you that remembers those days of TNA being on Fox Sports Net. You tune to Fox Sports Net, there's no TNA. There's no programming note. There's no nothing. You can't even figure out when's the next time it's going to come on. All right. You go to your channel guide, there's nothing. You could just be flipping the channels one Friday night going into Saturday morning. And the next thing you know, boom, TNA is on and you're going, what the hell? So I don't think any of that stuff is going to be happening with the WWE. I think the mindsets have changed when you fast forward years later. Now, promotions like a WWE, hell, Ring of Honor, New Japan, everybody's now kind of, with regards to the networks, they're kind of going, well, you know what? They're bringing in the numbers. This actually might not be a bad thing. So this is going to be very beneficial. Where I have a little bit of reservation, where I have a little bit of concern, I have a little bit of concern at the fact of, okay, so it's going to be on Fridays, right? It's safe to say it's going to be on Fridays. But here's the thing. Tuesdays was so better because Tuesdays, it's a work night, right? Kids are home from school, family is home from school. They've already caught up, they've had their dinner, now they're in front of the TV. It's that quality time, and you've got that 8 to 10 o'clock time slot on a Tuesday night, right? Not even the middle of the week just yet, still the start of the week versus Friday night. Come on, guys. You know where I'm going with this. It's Friday night, and everybody is going, all right, weekend is here. I am ready to hit the club. I'm ready to go out. I'm going to go on a little mini vacation. I'm going to go across the state bridge. I'm going to go to this city. Usually people are going out. Now, true, there are more people that will stay in because it's the weekend. They get the rest. They don't have to get up for work the next day typically. But where there should be a lot of concern is this is Friday night. Most people are going out. And that's definitely going to be detrimental when it comes summertime, I personally feel. So I can't wait to see where basically a year and a half from now, how the ratings are going to be for Fox during the summertime when the weather is really nice and everybody's trying to go out to the beach, plan little vacations, things of that nature. I don't think it's going to be too detrimental to take a serious impact on the viewership. I do feel that WWE will not only break even, but they'll be able to get even more viewership. One thing that definitely needs to happen, though, when you think about sports, you think about sports entertainment. That's on Fox, because we can even put, if they were able to work out a deal with the UFC, we can put UFC in the category of sports entertainment because that is what it is at the end of the day. You have these hardcore fans that are going to Fox to get their fix on sports, right? One thing that's definitely going to have to change with SmackDown, I personally feel, is you're going to have to go a little bit more edgier. You're going to have to go a little bit more mature on the content. I'm not talking about NSFW, not safe for work. I'm not talking about that. What I am talking about is the audience in which the NASCAR, the baseball, the MMA, the football, right? You're gonna have to, those are ultimately going to be your audience. And those guys and gals, but mostly guys and their sons are going to be the ones that WWE is going to be hoping, and Fox as well, that they're hoping they're going to be banking on. So I would suspect age demographics anywhere between 18 to 49 is really what they're trying to tap into the most. That's what they're really trying to go for. That's what they really need to shoot for. So if you really want to really do a good job in succeeding in getting that type of audience, I do feel that creatively, with how the shows are written, the booking, all that, the matches, the story arcs, everything's going to have to go up a serious ante. And most importantly, you're going to have a small team that's going to need to have the final say. And okay, that's good. We'll go with that. No, that sucks. Take that back to the drawing board. I would suspect, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I would suspect that if not all on Triple H, and maybe he could be at a remote location or whatever while he's juggling SmackDown and NXT, maybe it could be Vince McMahon and Triple H just to start for the next several months, just to see SmackDown off to a really good, strong start. And then Vince can finally just step aside, leave it all up to the hands of Triple H and crew to keep it going. Because after all, Vince McMahon has to work on the launch of the XFL, which is supposed to launch in 2020. So I feel definitely, though, that SmackDown's going to, as it stands right now, SmackDown is okay, but it could be a lot better, and it's going to need to be better, especially at $1 billion for a total of 5 years. Yeah, it's going to need to be better. Another thing that I have a little bit of concern with regards to SmackDown here, what does this mean exactly for the XFL? Because we see that Vince McMahon, he has made no announcement about whether or not the XFL is going to be some type of situation where games are going to be streamed on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook. So, what exactly is going to become of this? And I dare say, depending on the success these next couple of years of SmackDown being on Fox, is going to have huge implications on whether or not Fox is even going to want to try and do business with Vince McMahon on the XFL. So, I mean, there's a lot of domino effects that could come as a result of this. I mean, just imagine it. If things go really well for SmackDown, then Fox could say, okay, well, you know what? Let's tap into a couple of XFL games. We'll put them on Fox. Or let's tap into a couple of XFL games. We'll put them on FS1. And then, of course, what is really on the minds of a lot of people is what exactly is going on with NXT, because so many people, and I understand some people's philosophy, their mindset of, I don't want NXT to leave the WWE network because part of that $10 that I spend a month, the NXT brand is why I continue to have my WWE network subscription on top of the WWE pay-per-views. And you've got just a little bit of rumblings, just take it with a grain of salt, but you got rumblings that as far as the implications of how well this business deal could do, how well the numbers are for WWE to Fox, Fox feels that this was a really good investment. You can't help but wonder, well, what's going to happen now with NXT? These are all the things that's coming on in my head when I hear this deal. And I know some people would be upset if NXT were to leave the WWE network, but look at it this way. If NXT were to leave the WWE network and it's still under the Fox umbrella, this would actually be a good deal. This would be a good deal from the standpoint of more eyes would be on the NXT brand. It's always, at the end of the day, got to be about evolving. It always has to be about reaching out, branching out to as many more eyes as humanly possible. I suspect what would probably happen, this is the most logical theory I have that will probably most likely happen. Just how there was an NXT test run on the USA Network, I would suspect that maybe, just maybe, on FS1, there would be some type of an experiment to see how NXT would do on there. I could even see a situation where maybe once in a blue moon, maybe during WrestleMania week or something like that, I could even see a situation come about where, and this would be a really, really good idea. Most shows on Fox, they wrap up April, May. So you're more than welcome during that little 3-4 month period. You're more than welcome to do a test run of NXT to see how it fares. And if it fares well, then it could be a situation where maybe on the WWE network, first run, meaning first time it airs, you'd get NXT. But then as far as the encore goes, it would just trickle on down to FS1 or Fox later on during the week, maybe on the weekend. So I don't think a lot of you guys have anything to worry about with regards to NXT. I think it's safe to say for now, it's okay. But you always got to be thinking about the more eyes that's on your product, the better, because eventually that means more revenue at the end of the day. That means more revenue. That means more eyes on the product. And that should really be the ultimate goal. I'm not telling you guys anything different than what ultimately a podcaster would want. A podcaster would want to be on as many platforms as possible so that they can have as many eyes and ears on their product to try to help overall grow their audience. So for WWE to continue to just be narrow-minded and say, no, NXT is fine where it is, I wouldn't buy that for a second, and I don't think any of you should be buying that as well. So that's pretty much where we stand with regards to this Fox deal going down. It's going to be popping big time. Like Carolina fan said, yeah, I'm with you. It's definitely going to be popping in 2019. But this is a huge, significant deal for them. I mean, other than having Saturday night's main event on NBC, and then you had then there was a revival, if you will, as well. There was a little bit of a revival as well. I remember from a couple of years back that didn't really do too well, but for them to land this deal on Fox, it's all around good thing. It definitely gets a pass in my book, but I definitely would love to know what you guys make of this new SmackDown deal. So definitely sound off. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. If you are, make sure you throw up the thumbs, make sure you click on the like, the hearts, all that good jazz. Really helps out. Are you guys ready? Because this Wednesday it's going down. I'm talking about CM Punk tickets. CM Punk is going to be doing a meet and greet at a pro wrestling tees store in Chicago, Illinois. That's going to be happening on Friday, August 31st. Tickets are going to be going on sale 12 p.m. Central Standard Time this Wednesday of May 23rd. So I hope you guys are geared up for that. I want to offer you all some last minute piece of advice. I said this on last week's show. I want to offer it to you guys once again. Really helps if you go on ahead, log in, because you're going to be sorry later. Okay, I'm telling you, you're going to be sorry later. Go ahead, sign up, get your information all ready. All right, this has to be the one-time deal where the autofill for your credit card information, make it so. That way, when the event goes live and you can purchase your tickets, boom, 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 be ready. Okay, if it were me, my advice to you guys, you better be in front of that computer 30 minutes early. Get yourself familiar with the navigation, the whole checkout procedure. Do a little bit of a test run. I actually did a test run earlier today just to get an idea on what all I can expect as far as navigating on the site. Get ready, because the sooner, if you're serious about getting these tickets, this is what you're going to have to do. Because let me tell you guys something. You are going to be competing with automatic scalpers, bots. That's going to be your competition. So the sooner you go in there, you have everything set up and you just boom, 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 get that head start, the better. Trust me, you will thank me later. And I'm actually looking forward to that event. I actually have taken off work just so I can get me some CM Punk tickets. All right. I mean, you're talking about a once in a lifetime type of cool opportunity here. So my fingers are crossed. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do this. And I tell you what, if we are going to be able to get tickets to go see CM Punk in Chicago off the break, we're going to be doing some really cool exclusives for our Patreon members, because our Patreon members at this point pretty much sponsors as well, but I got to show more love to our Patreon members. Our Patreon members really have made it possible to be able to be in a position where we can get some CM Punk tickets. So if we're able to get some tickets, we're going to be doing a lot of video exclusives and all that as we're going to be traveling out to Chicago. I'm actually going to be out there for 2 days. I may try to see if I can go to the All In event. We'll wait and see, especially with Cody Rhodes continuing to say at this point there's no streaming platform options that we're considering. I mean, we are looking at all options, but the way we have this event in mind, the way that we're trying to set it up, this is something that you have to see for yourself. You got to be there. You got to experience it all in person. And I like the fact that you have some people that's operating like this, because honestly, it just makes it that much more meaningful and that much more special, I personally feel. But fingers crossed. I'm really hoping that it goes down tomorrow. So we got an update here on the score. Third quarter, we got 5 minutes and change left. We got Golden State Warriors. They're down 2 points right now, 62-62. Warriors are trying to get this game, man. They are trying to make this 3-1, take away home court field advantage. Steph Curry. Oh, was that a three? I think that was a three. Yes, it was. Now they have the lead, 63-62. Keep you guys posted on that throughout the rest of the night. Let's continue on, though, in the meantime. Let's continue on. So, other than the big news that came about with SmackDown, Told you guys about the whole CM Punk thing that's going to be going down. I guess we could talk a little bit about Raw and SmackDown. You know, some of the takeaways that I have from Raw this week. Um, you know, the first thing that jumps out at me out off the break, the Bobby Lashley segment. I feel for you guys that were watching this in real time because I said to you guys on Monday night, hey, I'm taking it easy. I'm going to watch me some NHL, NBA playoffs, but I will definitely be live with you guys Tuesday nights. We'll go over it all. But man, that Bobby Lashley segment, let me tell you, that was some horrific shit, man. I mean, I've seen some stuff in my time as a wrestling fan over the years, but that had to been a lot of people were going, Bailey, this is your life. And they were going, oh my God, exactly almost 1 year later, WWE tops themselves. And here they go again, giving us a drizzling shit segment here with Bobby Lashley and his whole sisters and all that. If you ask me straight up, what did I make of it? Well, look, first off, some of the males who were local indie wrestlers were identified. Now, it's not known right now who had played the role of Kathy, one of Bobby Lashley's sisters, but the other two men that also had pretended to play Bobby Lashley's sisters. Francis was played by Max Caster of Kurt Hawkins' Create a Pro Wrestling School. Meanwhile, Jessica was portrayed by Mr. Everything Victor Andreas. And both of them had some interesting things to say on Twitter after this all had went down. So we'll start with Victor Andrews. He basically had said, and I quote, last night, I didn't portray a woman. I was a hired goon. Once you grasp that, then you'll understand the concept. Meanwhile, Caster had said, I am proud to represent my community on national TV. I am more than a man in drag. Hashtag shame on you. Hashtag be shook. And, you know, here's the thing. We all love, look, you're talking to somebody that has seen so much in pro wrestling. In my heart of hearts, I know that not every single goddamn segment can be serious. There always has to be that light-hearted comedic moment that is supposed to make you laugh, bust a gut, things of that nature. I'm all fine for a good hearty laugh. But the segment that came about from Monday Night Raw with the Bobby Lashley segment was not a good feel, ha 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 moment. Not by any means. And this isn't coming from somebody that is a advocate of the social justice warriors or anything like that. If you really just take a step back and you really just think outside the box and you just look at this segment for what it was worth, it was poorly booked, it was poorly written, and that's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. Now, I know there are a lot of people that are looking at this and they want to take this a step further and they want to talk about the whole women's revolution and all of that. Where do I stand with regards to that? Well, I mean, look, I like the argument that a lot of people are making. You got people that are saying, boy, we have this whole women's revolution thing. We've got Sasha Banks running around. We've got Ronda Rousey. We've got Amber Moon. We've got Charlotte. We've got Becky Lynch. My God, we've got just a big old platter of awesome women that are able to go in here, taking names, kicking ass just as good as the males every single night. And for all the progress that has been made, everything takes a serious 2 steps back because of this pathetic segment. I hear that, and with a heavy heart, I go, those are some very valid points. They are. Do I go in that direction? Honestly, when I saw the segment, I just looked at it from the entertainment standpoint. Honestly, I know we got this whole Me Too movement and everything that's just going on right now, but I guess I'm one of those rare guys that can actually really take a step back and just, okay, I'm just viewing this strictly as entertainment, right? Entertainment purposes. Let's go entertainment. And for entertainment purposes, it did not execute it to the fullest extent. You saw the crowd in Albany, New York, and you can't dare say that you can't dare say that the freaking you can't say that the segment was being presented in front of a tough crowd. You can't say that because it was in Albany, New York. So you can't make that claim. No, you can't go with that. That's too easy. It's too easy. You could have put that in front of a Baltimore crowd. You could have put that in front of a Washington, D.C. crowd. Uh, and I have the strongest Spidey sense tingling vibe that the reaction that happened Monday night would have been the same reaction that would have gone down in those respected cities I just named. That was a poorly written segment. I'm not just gonna say it's a poorly, no, I'm gonna actually break this down. Let's really break this down. Let's really break this down. Okay. Here's the thing. You got Bobby Lashley, who doesn't even have 3 months under his belt since being back with the WWE. There's your first problem right there. I've been an advocate on this show ever since Bobby Lashley had came back. I said, hey, the way you reintroduce Bobby Lashley to the WWE fan base, because let's face it, this guy has been gone for 10 years. Sadly, for a majority of these fans, they aren't even aware of everything that he was doing in TNA. They just are not. Okay. So you got to bridge the gap a little bit. You got to bridge that gap. You got to talk about how he was at least wrestling in other wrestling promotions. You got to talk about how he was continuing on having a successful MMA career. You got to do the vignettes. You got to do those 3 5-minute little vignettes, hyping him up. You got to go in that direction. This is just too much stuff that is being done to basically hotshot Bobby Lashley. That's basically what has been happening since he's been back in the WWE from a storyline creative standpoint. Powers that be, everything falls on Vince McMahon, Triple H, and crew. But the way these writers have set up Bobby Lashley, my 2 cents from a distance, it looks as though they have been trying to hotshot him. So for me personally, I'm looking at that. And for you guys, just a heads up, I am seeing the stuff that's being put in the chat. So trust me, when I see what I see, guys, I got it, man. I got it. Thank you for pointing that out. I got it. Oh, trust me, I got the window open. So if somebody thinks they're going to be able to go in, and I try to give them an opportunity, but when I see what I see, and it looks like it's not really sticking with it's not really sticking with what you guys are saying in the chat, I am definitely on point there. So thank you guys for pointing that out. Appreciate it. So anyway, before we were dealing with some of the knuckleheads here, we were talking about the whole segment there. It's hot shotting. When it's all said and done, it's hot shot. And that's the wrong way to do it. If there was ever a time to really go back and tell the story of Bobby Lashley, fill in those gaps as far as what the hell has the man been up to since he's been away from the WWE, you got to take that time to do that. Give the fans a reason. Make them give a damn as far as why they need to care about Bobby Lashley. And I thought that we were on to something beautiful. I won't say, well, no, I'm going to stick with beautiful. I'm going to stick with beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what, let's remove the word beautiful and let's replace it with smart. All right, smart. I thought we were on to something smart when we had the Bobby Lashley sit down interview with Renee Young. And I told you guys on this show, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I said, this is now the opportunity to go in that direction where you can just week by week, you could do these vignettes with Bobby Lashley. And I'm just picturing it in my head. I'm going, okay, 1 week you can do, or actually 2 weeks, you could do a little bit of a two-parter. You could talk about his origins growing up, his mom, his dad, his siblings. And then part 2, you can talk about his amateur pro wrestling career background, right? Week 3, you can talk about how his background in amateur wrestling had took him to the NCAA, right? And then you could eventually, week 4 or whatever, you could talk about how, hey, chance encounter with Kurt Angle pretty much had got him on the path of pro wrestling. And then you can just, after that, talk about when he first came to WWE developmental, to when he first came to the WWE roster, talk about some of the feuds. Why is it that he left? My God, you could have been doing this for at least about 8 to 10 weeks max. That way the fans could connect more and more with the guy. And you also could have timed this right perfectly by doing maybe an episode of Ride Along featuring Bobby Lashley, or an episode of Table for 3 featuring Bobby Lashley. If you ask me honestly, what would make a really good Table for 3? I would personally love to see a Table for 3 with Bobby Lashley, Kurt Angle, and Brock Lesnar. That would just be interesting because of their NCAA backgrounds and all that. You could just call that the NCAA edition. That's what you could call that. That would be just freaking interesting, I personally feel. And I think for the right amount of money, a little bit of extra money, Lesnar would do something like that. But you could have just done all of these great marketing ideas of trying to reintroduce Lashley to the WWE universe while pumping out new original content, right? Connecting the audience more with this guy and then referencing it when you have him on Raw. And that's how you properly build this guy back up. This is how you put him back into some type of a monetary status. This is how you reinvest stock into a guy that's been away from the WWE brand for X amount of years. But no, everything is just hot-shotting so far. And it's really nerve-wracking. The guy hasn't even been back, 10 weeks. And already you do this, and then you add in this thoughtless, crappy segment. Now, look, for the indie wrestlers that were involved in this was a great payday for them. And let's make no mistake about it. And see, this is the thing that I really want to drive home to these independent wrestlers that were involved in this segment. Understand, the majority of the fans are feeling the way that they're feeling because of everything that I just described. I think if you honestly pulled a wrestling fan to the side, they would not be hating on the independent wrestlers who, let's think about it, they got their 15 minutes of fame, albeit bad, good, indifferent. They got their 15 minutes of fame seen by almost 3 million viewers around the world. You don't think they're getting emails about, hey, can you come on my podcast? Or you don't think they're getting maybe potential other offers from other wrestling promotions, things of that nature? All right. Nature of the beast. It always goes down. But I don't think anybody is really having an issue with these guys. Okay, you looked for your opportunity any way you could possibly get it. And this is how you decided you wanted to take advantage. I don't think anybody is busting their balls for that. What everybody is busting their balls and WWE's balls on is the quality, the piss poor quality that was given to them. Mind you, after the news had came about that WWE has secured this deal with freaking Fox. So, you take that how you want to take that. But for me, all I could do was just kick back and cringe at this segment that we had got. And I hope that never again do we see a segment like that? Woo! That's all I gotta say. Woo! It was rough. It was really rough. And let me tell you something. A little bit sidetrack here, continuing to watch the game here. So right now we got fourth quarter, we got 11 minutes and some change. Golden State Warriors got a 10-point lead right now. It is 80-70. For those of you that are going, what's going on with NHL? First off, there is no NHL tonight. Now, I have been paying attention to what's been happening with the NHL series. And with regards to the NHL series, I got to tell you, it was really nice seeing the Washington Capitals make a little bit of a comeback last night, because I was telling my coworkers, I said, man, I have never invested in hockey before. I wanted to finally start because I see how far the Capitals have gone. But my God, it seemed like those first two games, wow, Capitals, what the hell? But then for them to lose back-to-back games, you're going, Capitals are choking. What the hell? They're being choke artists. And it was funny too, because I had treated my girl out over the weekend to a really nice place to eat. And I was having a couple of drinks and I was talking with our waiter, and he was picking my brain on all the games that's been happening so far. And when I told him how I had started to get into hockey, he was going, oh, yeah. He was like, all the teams choke. He's like, but man, the teams that really choke the most, the Capitals. And he's like, yeah, man, that game, I don't know what's going on with them, man. And I said, well, I tell you what, it's like they need to make a comeback. And they did. They got the job done the other night. Now it's all or nothing at all. They got to do this next game tomorrow night. When you go to the Stanley Cup Finals, lose your ass, your season is over. So I'm excited to see how that game is going to be playing out tomorrow night, as Golden State Warriors are now up. Now it's 12 points. Now it's 82-70. Still got about 10 plus minutes left in the fourth quarter. So that segment on Raw, really didn't care for that one whatsoever. Anything of significance that came about? I actually did like that matchup. The Alexa Bliss taking on Amber Moon. That actually was a good match. I did enjoy that one. Finn Balor taking on Braun Strowman. I had enjoyed that one as well. That was a good matchup. What was really interesting to me though was the Roman Reigns, Stephanie McMahon, Kurt Angle segment. First off, to see Stephanie McMahon, and we hadn't seen her for a couple of months, so it was awesome seeing her again. You kind of felt a little bit of micromanaging, belittling Kurt Angle a bit. But at the same time, you saw Kurt Angle admit, yeah, Steph, you're absolutely right. I do let the judgment get the best of me. In some situations, I could learn a lot from you. You're absolutely right. It didn't really come off as if Kurt Angle was just saying that just to please Stephanie. You were kind of left with the impression that, okay, maybe there's some things to this job that I'm not really thinking about that, yeah, maybe I really could benefit from Steph. But I wish, just for storyline continuity purposes, I wish that Kurt Angle would have came right back around and said, well, look, Steph, with regards to, you put me in charge of making the matches, steering this ship in the right direction. And, multiple times now, we've had Kevin Owens go over my head and come to you. Really, who's in charge of Raw here? Because if it's me that's in charge of making the matches happen, then Stephanie, I need your total confidence in me executing what you see fit, what is really best for the company. I just felt that if there was ever an opportunity to air out grievances, that would have been the place or time, since finally you had Kurt Angle and Stephanie McMahon in the ring at the same time. Because for weeks we kept seeing different superstars say, oh, well, yeah, whatever, Kurt. Well, look, we went above your head. We went and we had talked to. So if, for me, stupid booking 101 for me right there. That was stupid booking 101. And some people will say, well, Lee, we had the situation come about where Stephanie McMahon She did say to the Kevin Owens, get your arm off of me, or I'm sorry, that doesn't do it for me. That's not enough. I need a little bit more. And to see the situation where things got hostile between Roman Reigns, Stephanie McMahon, pretty much echoing what Kurt Angle said to Roman a couple of weeks ago, which is, hey, you've had enough opportunities. You're done. And I tell you, I'm really liking what's coming about with Jinder Mahal and Roman Reigns. I can't wait to see this continued feud. I know it's ongoing, but I can't wait to see these two guys lock it up. They're going to be locking it up at Money in the Bank. And, I'm liking it right now. I'm liking this whole idea of, well, management feels, Roman, you've had enough opportunities. You need to hit the bricks. Your ass need to go to the back of the line. You're officially done. Now, this is the thing that I also don't understand. And for me, this is another case of stupid booking 101. Again, just how you have Kurt Angle, Stephanie McMahon in the ring at the same time, this would have also provided a really good opportunity for Roman Reigns to say to Stephanie McMahon, well, wait a minute. If this is the case where I'm done getting opportunities to challenge for a championship because you all feel that with regards to Brock Lesnar, I've had too many opportunities as it is, well, then I want to execute my right to jump ship. I want to be traded on over to the SmackDown brand. Even if it gets denied, at least you can have Roman Reigns say that, just to put it out there. I personally felt would have been good just for storyline purposes, because just really stop and think about it. If an individual is told, hey, as far as you competing for this championship, that's it. And what is it that Triple H and other guys would say constantly in interviews over the years? Hey, if you're not in our company trying to go for that championship, the championship, you got no business being in this company. That's what he and other guys would always say, right? So if Roman Reigns is going to continue to be denied an opportunity to go after the championship, at least on that particular show, then why not try to see if he can work out some type of a deal to jump ship and go elsewhere? So the fact that that hasn't even been acknowledged yet, not really feeling that whatsoever. Just some big old flops that they had going on. Yeah, the Chad Gable versus Dolph Ziggler match, that was actually pretty damn good. I did see that one. That one was actually good. And I like how that match came about, where basically Chad Gable was talking with Kurt Angle, and Kurt revealed that Chad was his pick to go into the qualifying match from last week, not Kevin Owens. So the fact that Chad Gable was kind of, I like that storyline wise. I like that WWE is kind of going, hey, look, we know we got Chad Gable here, and we know how good of a talent he is. We ain't forgot about him, and trust us, we're definitely gonna, do some really cool stuff with him. Yeah, seeing him take on Dolph Ziggler, that was great. But then afterwards, seeing Drew McIntyre come in with that Claiborne, riddle me this: why is Drew McIntyre with Dolph Ziggler? That's what I can't figure out right now, because I'm looking at Drew McIntyre and I'm just going, dude, you are freaking money. Like, what the hell are you doing with this other dude over here, man? Like, we get Ziggler. That's old cachet right there, man. Like, you need to be just off doing your own thing, man. It's like, I don't get that. I don't really get that. What do I think they should do with Dean Ambrose when he comes back? I was kind of thinking about that. And one of the things that I was thinking about, quite honestly, was maybe it needs to be a situation where, and you saw how we had that opening match, where originally it was Roman Reigns taking on Kevin Owens, and then eventually there was interference. I can't remember where the interference had came from. Who interfered on behalf and trying to help out Kevin Owens? Because then it became a tag team match. It was Seth Rollins taking on, no, it was Seth Rollins
and Roman Reigns, they teamed up. They took on Kevin Owens, and I can't picture who Kevin Owens' tag partner was. Was it Jinder? Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, it was Jinder Mahal. And, I'm just kind of under the impression right now that maybe eventually the Shield will get back together. That's the vibe that I'm kind of getting. Maybe they'll get back together, and the circumstances surrounding that, maybe it could be a situation where a numbers game gets piled on. Like, you see what's happening with Roman Reigns and how he's being denied. You still got a little bit of resentment, a little bit of that negative residue, if you will, with Seth Rollins. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the situation were to occur where, as a result of Seth Rollins not minding his peace and getting involved in helping Roman Reigns, I wouldn't be surprised if that maybe puts Roman's already on the shit list. But I wouldn't be surprised if the actions of one Seth Rollins, who continues to have really good, phenomenal performances, I must say, if it puts him in a position now, storyline wise, with the authority or with WWE management, that now, okay, well, you want to be with your buddy Roman? Well, now you're going to be in the same boat as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a situation where eventually, excuse me, guys, I got to blow my nose. My allergies is kind of kicking my ass right now. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if a situation were to occur where, maybe you get some type of a numbers game that comes about. I mean, at this point, maybe something goes down where Jinder, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, hell, maybe even Sami Zayn, like it's a numbers game. And maybe eventually that's how Dean Ambrose is reintroduced. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a situation were to come about where the Shield reunites come SummerSlam or whatever. But I mean, pretty much right after Dean Ambrose comes back, I could definitely see a situation occurring where I just have this weird feeling that when Dean Ambrose comes back, if I'm thinking of a story arc, maybe when Dean Ambrose comes back, you also bring back Jason Jordan. Maybe you could also do that as well. And maybe, just maybe you could have a situation come about where maybe Dean Ambrose feuds with Jason Jordan. That's a possibility. Another possibility you could do is, I don't know about a heel Ambrose. I see some people are saying, what about a heel Ambrose? I'm not really seeing that for some weird reason. I don't know what it is, but I'm not really seeing that. I don't see that in the cards. I just don't. I think as far as heels go, WWE has enough heels on the Raw side. I believe they got enough heels as it is. Looking at the score right now, we got about 6 minutes left. Golden State Warriors 84-82 right now. Again, 84-82. Continue to keep you guys posted on that one. What else? I don't think there was really anything else that had up. Yeah, Elias, Bobby Roode. That was actually decent. I really had enjoyed how Elias had the crowd in the palm of his hands. He was like, when I say Elias, when I say, do you like Elias? You say, I love Elias. I like how he just had that crowd in the palm of his hands, and then he came right back around. Just when you thought that maybe Elias was kind of making that turn. Nah, he's still the same old Dick Elias. I actually had enjoyed that. That was pretty hilarious. But yeah, nothing else really you can sink your teeth into from Raw this week. A little bit of a so-so episode. SmackDown this week, we have found out what the match that's going to be happening between AJ Styles and Nakamura was going to be, because as a result of Nakamura winning against AJ Styles, if not last week, 2 weeks ago, he basically had won the right to name the stipulation for their match for the World Heavyweight Champ. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vince Russo apparently wants to slide on in here. Vince, go ahead. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. Thank you so much, bro. So, yeah, I emailed the WWE and I told them, I told Road Dogg in particular, because I know Road Dogg has got a thing or two as far as the writing and the booking over there. I said, hey, bro, listen, what you need to do with Styles and Nakamura for this Money in the Bank ladder match, right? Or whatever you're gonna do with it. Me personally, bro, I wouldn't make it a ladder match. Instead, what I would do, bro, did you see Infinity War? Thanos, freaking badass. Go see Infinity War. Anyway, bro, what I'm picturing that's going to make so much money, going to have a lot of people talking. What if you take that Thanos glove and you put it on a pole and you raise it up so high? The first person to grab that big old gold glove with all the little stones on it, they get to hit their opponent repeatedly in the balls. And the opponent that gets hit in the balls the most and shrieks, I give up, they become the WWE champion. Bro, I'm telling you, book it, man. Book it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vince Russo. No, seriously, I honestly was thinking at this point, as far as the match stipulation, there was part of me going, wouldn't it be something if they took a page out of the Infinity War and you had Thanos' glove hanging on a pole? Make it a steel glove or something, and you just grab that bad boy, and that's it for the other opponent's balls, and you become a WWE champion that way. Now, you gotta admit, if you really stop and think about it, that actually kind of sounds a little bit fun and irritating, to just keep whamming the person over and over again with that infinity gauntlet. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. No, in all seriousness, the stipulation, it would be a last man standing. I know, right? Some of you guys are kind of going, I kind of like the infinity gauntlet on the pole match. That's got a little bit of a better but then they're gonna face lawsuits, all of that, so that probably wouldn't actually work out that well. So we got that. That's going to be happening at Money in the Bank. And at this point, that's going to be coming about what now? In about 4 weeks, if I heard it right. In about 4 weeks, it's going to be Money in the Bank. See, what else happened on anything else happened on SmackDown that was noteworthy? I mean, we talked about the great match that Daniel Bryan and Jeff Hardy had. We talked about that at the very top. We saw that the Good Brothers, we saw that they had defeated the Usos. I'm talking about Doc Gallows, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson. Those guys had advanced. They became the new #1 contenders. They're going to be facing the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown tag titles in a couple of weeks at Money in the Bank. So you had that. Anything else noteworthy happened from SmackDown that maybe I had missed? Because I was kind of watching the NBA game mostly before coming on live. I kind of feel as though something significant, maybe Money in the Bank wise, had happened on the women's side for SmackDown tonight. I'll tell you what, let's look at the Money in the Bank card real quick, and we'll see if there was a new development, because I think there was a new development for the women's side of things. So let me see what's going on with that here. Let me pull this up real quick. See, Charlotte, Alexa, Becky, Lana. That's what it was. If I'm not mistaken, Lana had advanced tonight. Yeah, Lana had advanced. Who did Lana beat? Did Lana beat, was it Naomi? Did Lana beat Naomi? I can't remember, guys. I need y'all to help me out. I remember her winning. I just can't picture who it was that she had faced, because I remember seeing Naomi at one point wrestle, and she took some strong, stiff kicks to the back. Billy Kay. Okay, so who did Billy Kay? So Billy Kay took on Lana, Tony? Am I understanding that right? Lana took on Billy Kay. Okay. Who did Naomi face? If you guys could type Naomi faced, then that would help me out too. Because I'm picturing Naomi, she was getting the living hell kicked out of her. And I remember her back was just like, looked like she was spasming out. Because one of those kicks looked like it legitimately had freaking hurt. By the way, you notice what I said on the show last week with regards to the physical status of Jeff Hardy? Remember how I had came on the show? There we go. Yeah, Sonya Deville had took on Naomi. Thank you guys. Yeah, that was actually a damn good outing too. I enjoyed that. Oh my God, that was physical. That was freaking physical. I enjoyed that one. What else was I saying? I was just saying something and I got sidetracked. Yeah, you guys remember what I was talking about with regards to Jeff Hardy last week? Is that everybody was jumping out there saying, oh, you know, Jeff Hardy, oh, he's injured, and all that. And WWE, no report saying Jeff Hardy was injured. Nothing from Jeff Hardy on social media talking about, oh, hey, got injured, blah, blah, nothing like that. And Jeff Hardy had showed up tonight. You know, if there was some type of a physical issue with Jeff Hardy, tonight would have been an okay night to take the United States title off of him. But no, they did not go in that direction. Just goes to show you what I was talking about last week. Don't believe everything that you see and read. I mean, it's amazing how so many people are gullible because, you know, you had people that were at this live event a couple of weeks ago that saw Jeff Hardy limping and they're going, oh, he looks like he's injured. And it's like, well, where you been? Jeff Hardy been limping around for a good minute now. Jeff Hardy been limping around since he came back. And like I said last week, when you've been doing the type of physical stuff that you've been doing as you've been Jeff, you know, Hardy for 20 something years, you know, swanton bombs off ladders, cages, tables, oh my, all that shit. Yeah. Sooner or later, you're probably bound to be walking around with a limp if you're not already in a goddamn wheelchair. So it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy right now. See, what else can we get into on tonight's show here? Seeing the score. I got the score update. Latest right now is 91-86. Warriors still have the lead right now. I saw that an official report by PW Insider, it looks like a couple of other reputable sites are saying the same thing as well. You guys need to get ready. It's official. There's going to be longer WWE pay-per-views. Oh, how sad. How sad. You know, on a good note, with SmackDown going to Fox, it's safe to say that on Fox, it's going to remain at 2 hours because you got the 10 o'clock news after all. I mean, unless Fox is going to go on ahead and say, no, we'll push the news back to 11, which I doubt. I mean, they could do that. They could do that. But, you know, you stop and think about it. That would mean that Fox's 11 o'clock news would be facing NBC, CBS, and ABC and News Channel 8, whereas Fox has the edge from everybody else by 1 hour airing their news at 10 o'clock, and that's what made them so special. So, you know, it would be interesting to see if Fox is willing to, for just one night a week, force the news to come on at 11 o'clock as opposed to 10 o'clock. So that should be, but I'm really kind of getting the impression that SmackDown is going to stay at 2 hours. We'll wait and see. And maybe just for special occasions, it'll be 3 hours. But it looks like WWE has reached out to some of their broadcasting satellite provider / partners and have told them, hey, get ready because some of our pay-per-view events going forward, you know, if not all of them, it's going to be running longer. The pay-per-views are actually going to be starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. So you guys need to get ready. Looks like it's going to be 4 hours of a WWE pay-per-view. And WWE is basically saying this really helps them on a lot of stand fronts. But what this is ultimately about is more revenue, right? And then also it's about having even more matches on the card. So, you know, it starts to feel kind of numb after a while if you really stop and think about it, because marinate for a few ticks. So you have these pay-per-views like Money in the Bank. You have a pay-per-view like a Backlash or Great American Bash or whatnot. And pretty much every single pay-per-view is 4 hours long. And it's like, well, what's going to be so special about SummerSlam? What's going to be so special about Survivor Series? What's going to be so special about the Royal Rumble? Because normally those 4+ hour times were reserved for like the four major pay-per-views, but now that you're going to be going in this direction for every pay-per-view, that's really testing the patience of a lot of fans, I personally feel. And you would just think that after what had went down at the last pay-per-view, where fans had rolled out in droves, you would just like to believe that WWE kind of took that as a wake-up call and said, okay, you know what? Maybe we kind of need to scale back a little bit. Like, this is great for the network, but what about for those in attendance? I mean, just think about that for a second. So that means if your pre-show starts at 6, then you probably want to be sitting in your seats by 6:15, 6:20, because you're probably going to get one or two dark matches, right? And then after that, it's pretty much the official card. So think about that for a second. So like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock. So you're really talking about a 5+ hour event. That's a lot of patience on our side that's at home watching the event, but then you look at it from the standpoint of those that's going to be in attendance, very restless. It's a Sunday. Sunday night going into Monday, people got to hit the traffic. They want to try and beat the fucking traffic. Some of the kids got school in the morning. People got to go to work in the morning. That's really pushing it. That is really, really, really pushing it. Oh, it's not looking good, guys. 89-94, Houston Rockets way. Oh man, this ain't looking good. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. It looks like who's at the line right now? Kevin Durant. All right, so he's got it 90-94 right now. He's shooting a double at the free throw line here. He made 1 of 2, and he's got 2 of 2. So it's 91-94. Looks like both teams have 2 timeouts left. 139 left. Keep you guys posted on that one. So yeah, we got long pay-per-views that are gonna be coming up, man. I'm not really looking forward to that. I would imagine a lot of you guys aren't really looking forward to that as well. But it is what it is. So get ready for it. Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson. They've been catching a little bit of flap, heat, whatever on social media. Call it whatever you want to call it. Fans are ripping on them for returning to NXT. Because you guys had missed it during the weekend. The Revival had did a couple of NXT events. And from what a lot of people were saying that were in attendance, a lot of these events, it had went pretty damn good. They were actually quite pleased with it. And you would think, okay, well, that's kind of cool that these guys are now back helping out NXT brand. But no, you actually had people that were complaining about this, that actually were taking shots at Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, right? But here's one of the things that Scott Dawson had said. He's responding to fan criticism. He said, guys, I get to live my dream. I travel around the world. I'm able to take care of my family and give them a life I never had. And on top of all that, we got to tear the house down. Why would I be upset? Meanwhile, Dash Wilder, he came on in and he said, honestly, this is him responding to another fan. Honestly, you're a moron. Why wouldn't we be happy? We're wrestling in front of amazing crowds. Go be smart elsewhere. One fan in particular, he had said, you poor bastards would kill it outside the E. Pick up your skirt, grab your balls, and put the binky down and actually believe in yourselves. Then go make some real money. Dash would respond to this fan saying, "We do believe in ourselves. That's why we don't run away just because things don't always go immediately our way. It's called hard work. Try it sometime." So, I mean, look, I get why some people are feeling the way that they're feeling with regards to the revival, but I think this is how a lot of people need to be looking at this right now, which is Raw, which is a 3-hour show. You would think that that would be enough time allowed to get every single piece of talent that was recently put on over to the draft and those that weren't affected by the draft. You would think that would be enough time for everybody to be able to get in, do what they need to do on that respected card, right? Monday Night Raw, 3 hours, that should be enough time, right? But then even at that, you've got to factor in, okay, well, what's going on with the people that's writing the stuff for these wrestlers? What's going on with the people that's booking these matches? Because at the end of the day, you know, the talent, they take some of the blame, but most of that blame falls on the bookers and the writers. So fans that are frustrated what's going on with the revival right now, me personally, I don't look at the revival and see, here's the other thing. Nobody officially had said that the revival is back on NXT. Nobody officially, WWE didn't officially put out a statement saying that they're now back on NXT. For all you know, there might have been some guys that had got sick, might have had some traveling issues, couldn't make it. And as a result of that, um, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, they were given an opportunity to fill in, or it could have been a situation where, hey, we got this event that's going on, these events that's happening this weekend. You guys want to make a little bit of extra money? Yeah, yeah, sure. What the hell? Sign us up. Let's do it. That happens sometimes. It's no different than when you and I are at our jobs and we hear, oh, there's going to be a Saturday shift, or there's going to be a Sunday shift, or what have you, or hey, boss wants to know if you can stay an extra hour or two because blah 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 blah, and it's like, okay, that's extra money that's coming in. Sure, why not? And that is it. Houston Rockets have defeated the Golden State Warriors 94-92 to keep home court advantage. Series is now tied 2 apiece. Man, that game looked intense. Well, wait a minute. We got the referee. Wait a minute. Referee is reviewing here. Let's see if we can pinpoint what's going on here. Chris Paul, he's letting out a whole bunch of expletives right now. Let's see what's going on here. I guess they're trying to see if maybe there was a foul that had came about. Let's see what's going on here, guys. Hang on a second. This don't look good. I don't see a foul. I don't see a foul. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, shoot. I think I see something, guys. Hang on here. Who's the guy shooting the ball here? Let me look at it in the top corner here. I think we might have a foul here. Let me just rewind this back. Might be a foul. Might be a foul. Let's see here. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't. I'm looking at it. Okay, yeah, no foul there. I don't think Sean Livingston committed a foul. No, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing a foul, guys. I think that's game. Stick a fork in it. That's done. Let's watch this again. Didn't even touch him. Ball went off uncontested. There wasn't even a tap on the wrist from what I see from looks like Golden State. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Is it a foul? Okay, so they're putting 0.5 on the clock. No foul. Go. What the hell is the point in this? I don't get this. Oh man, so there was a foul. It looks like there was a foul. There was a foul, and Chris Paul's at the line right now shooting a double. He missed one of two. See if he's going to be able to make the next one here. He's been pretty good in the playoffs when it comes to free throws. He's been 84%, but tonight he's only been 1 of 3. Let's see if he makes this next one. And he does, so it's now 95-92. Steve Kerr's calling for a timeout here. They need a 3. They're not going to get it, though. They're I've seen some crazy things in the NBA, but I don't think they're going to be able to make this comeback. I mean, if it was maybe 1 second left, I could probably see them doing a little something, but yeah, no, I'm not seeing it happen. No. I guess that was a full timeout too, by the way, because I would have thought that would have been a 30-second timeout. So I'm gonna stay with this just until, because I mean the game's pretty much about over. So bear with me a second here, guys. I want to make sure we get this on point here. Let's see. All right, here they go. All right, so all right, that ain't too bad. Half court, so they can get a quick shot off. Who they gonna give it to? Oh, ooh, oh, so close. So close. Steph Curry almost had it. 95-92 is your final. Series is now tied up. Maybe Mike D'Antoni was not as crazy as people had thought when he said, no. The pressure is all on Golden State to come on out here and make this a 3-1 and, claim the home field court advantage. The pressure is more so on them than it is opposed to us. So he said that not with a straight face, but I'm sure it's going to be a different topic on a lot of shows tomorrow night. You can't help but wonder. So, yeah, you hear this stuff that's going on. We're getting back on track here. Epic Sports, you're going to have to do some serious editing, my friend. So we were talking about Wilder, Scott Dawson. I mean, look, man, for all you know, something like that might have had happened where WWE was like, look, you want to make some extra money? And they're like, yeah, sure. What the hell, whatever. But I mean, why should folks be upset that they were down at NXT events helping out? How is that a demotion? How is that it's funny. Every single time something weird comes about where you're not able to see a certain talent on the A show or the B show, and you're now seeing them on the C show, somehow it's being looked upon as a demotion or things of that nature. On the contrary, I don't look at that at all. Sometimes I just look at it being a situation where, okay, you know what? With the way the flow is going right now, currently on this respected brand, it just really seems as though this talent or these guys aren't really benefiting from this. Okay, maybe they would benefit going to this show, or maybe they would benefit more. There's nothing wrong with a situation occurring where certain talents, in this case Wilder, Scott Dawson, they're helping out in NXT. And if it is a situation where they're permanently back in NXT, I don't look at it as a damn demotion. As far as I'm concerned, they still have a job. They're still collecting paychecks. They're still able to travel the world, meet cool, interesting people, interact with their fan base. Not everybody is, ooh, put them on Raw. Ooh, put them on SmackDown. Not everybody is built. We would love for some of all of these guys that we really love. We would love for all of them to just, but it kind of goes back to what I've always been saying for, many, many years now. When the opportunity comes, you got to seize, smash, grab, and take it. And if you come up short, you're going to have to bust your ass 9 times out of 10, 2 times harder, just to try to see if you can even put yourself in a position where you can get that opportunity again. And I don't think that Wilder and Scott Dawson did anything wrong on their parts. I think what it is, whatever momentum they had started to build for themselves when they had that first injury. I think the first injury that had happened was with not sure if it was Dash Wilder or Scott, but the first injury that had happened, and then they were sidelined. And then they had came back finally together, and then there was another injury where one of them had got a weird injury to the mouth and the teeth were wired shut. He was out for several weeks, and you're going, damn. So it was like touch and go, basically. And whatever momentum they did build, it got derailed. So when you factor in stuff like that, yeah, it can probably be a little bit hard to really pick up where you left off. And then just the booking of these guys. Let's be honest with ourselves here. The booking for these guys on Raw has not been as strong as it was in NXT. And that's the honest truth. And when you start pointing the finger at who's to blame for that, yeah, does Wilder and Dawson take some of that blame? Yes, but they don't take 100% of that blame. They take 50% of that blame. I'll give them a modest. Actually, you know what? No, I'll even factor in the injuries. I will lower that to 40%. I will lower that to 40%. So it's sad to see some people, it's like they swear they know all the ins and out of the business. They swear that, oh well, you guys are on NXT, so you guys got not everything is a goddamn demotion. To the point, you look at a guy like Mike Kanellis, who we were just talking about on here last week, and I can't begin to tell you, RCWR Nation and the good community over at Epic Sports, it was really nice seeing all the positive reactions that was coming in to what I had to say about Mike Kanellis and how, hey, this guy misses wrestling. He's not injured. He's in the best shape of his entire freaking professional wrestling career right now. And he's on the sidelines, not being properly utilized. What the hell is going on here, WWE? Like, you're not even using this guy as enhancement talent. What the hell? And I had made the argument that for a guy like him, it wouldn't be so bad to have him go either back to SmackDown or have him go to NXT. I wouldn't look at it as a demotion whatsoever. I would look at it as an opportunity of properly utilizing your talents where best you see fit. So in the case of Scott Dawson Dash Wilder, it's like, come on, guys. Come on. If you're going to talk that way, be consistent with pretty much every single body as far as I'm concerned. Don't be picking no damn favorites. I want to take this time out, recognize some of our Patreon, actually all of our Patreon members, and I want to take this time out to recognize some of our sponsors that's chipping in for this episode of the RCWR Show, as without their kind contributions, we would not be doing shows like this, continuing to do shows like this for free. Our patrons and our sponsors are pretty much helping us keep the lights on. Hey now, all you sinners, put your lights on. Put your lights on. Who sung that? Was that Everlast and Santana? That was actually a really good song back in the day. I want to recognize our Patreon members, man. They're really, really awesome. Shout out to Joe Raymond Jr. Shout out to Anthony Missionary Thomas from Wrestling Soup. Got a great thread going on right now where they're talking about Billy D. Williams' character from Star Wars. Apparently is creating a lot of buzz right now, where turns out the character in this new Han Solo movie is supposedly pansexual, and it's a very interesting thread that's been going on these past several hours. A lot of different reactions. Shout out to John Davis. Shout out to Michael Wolf, and shout out to the beautiful and the lovely Courtney Summers. We appreciate all of our Patreon members. Some great content that's on Patreon right now too, by the way. For those of you, before you even ask, yes, I did see Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 was actually reviewed. That is a free-for-all edition of 30 with Lee. You don't need to pay anything. You can just go on patreon.com/RCWR Show, and you can either type in Deadpool, Deadpool 2, or you could pull up May 2018, and you will be able to access the episode of 30 with Lee that way. It is a non-spoiler and a spoiler edition. So the way I basically had set that episode up, the first 30 minutes, non-spoiler. And pretty much after you hear the show closer, About 10 seconds later, it's like a 10-second gap of silence. I come back and I talk about the spoilers, talk about key scenes, the major villain, things of that nature. So check that out. But do consider being a Patreon member. For just $5 a month, you get access to exclusive episodes of 30 with Lee. And I mean, at this point, you've got about now, I want to say 18 episodes of 30 with Lee that's available at your fingertips right now. You also get access to the new series, Wrestling with the Topics, that's hosted by me and Tammy. We actually were supposed to record an episode earlier today so I could release it on Wednesday, but she got sidetracked with some stuff. So I'm going to try to see when me and her might be able to do something. The goal, though, is to definitely record something and have it out before the weekend. So I'll keep you guys posted on that one. But you get access to what is it now? I think the first 4 episodes of Wrestling with the Topics, exclusive RCWR Show content. Get access to all that just starting at $5 a month. So do consider signing up. Patreon.com/RCWR Show. Take this time now. Let's recognize some of our sponsors for this very episode. Definitely need to show them a lot of love. Destination Vacations Travel Agency. If you need help planning your next vacation, you don't have the time to search for the best deals and locations, call up my good friends at the Destinations Vacations Travel Agency, as they can help. Give them a call at area code 630-491-6864. One more time, 630-491-6864, or visit their website, www.destinationvacationstravel.com. One more time, www.destinationvacationstravel.com. Also brought to you by my lottery winning secrets.com. Learn from a lottery winner that won the jackpot 7 consecutive times with his great tips and methods. www.mylotterywinningsecrets.com. Also, BeckettJewelry.com. If you're in need of great jewelry gift ideas for him or her, check out my good friends over at Beckett Jewelry. Low prices at great quality. They are family owned and operated in the United States. All products are shipped from the United States. Beckett Jewelry. Love more, spend less. Visit BeckettJewelry.com. Beckett spelled BECKETT Jewelry.com. BeckettJewelry.com. The RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is also brought to you in part by Dissecting Solutions. Dissecting Solutions, the best dissection kit for grades 9 through 12 grade students and teachers. Non-rust stainless steel dissecting tools for instructional and training purposes. Check them out right now on Amazon.com. For $24, you get yourself a 26-piece set. Stainless steel. Can't beat that. That's a damn good deal. Midwest Ecom Conference. That is happening this July 20th through the 21st in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Prince's hometown. If you're looking to become a successful eBayer or Amazon seller, you want to work from home, want to work on building yourself a better income to provide for yourself and your family, get the help that you need from experts on e-commerce at this fun 2-day event. For registration, tickets, and more information, head on over to MidwestEcom.com. That's MidwestEcom.com. Also, tax season still in effect. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that's trying to do your best to crunch your numbers while at the same time juggling your credit score, bringing that up to par so you can afford the finer things in life. Get that car, get that loan, get that mortgage squared away. Hit up my good friends over at NoSweatItCredit.biz. That's NoSweatItCredit.biz. They can delete up to 5 negative items on your credit report in just as little as 5 days. I'll get into a couple of more sponsors in just a little bit, but we do want to take this time out to recognize them and give them big thanks. Let's continue on with the show, shall we? Want to wish a speedy recovery to the Big Show, and I also want to wish a speedy recovery to Tom McGee. Those two names should sound very familiar to you guys. I will actually start off with the Big Show. Big Show, as it turns out, I'm not sure how many of you guys were aware of this, but Big Show was originally scheduled to appear at the WWE Greatest Royal Rumble event in Saudi Arabia a couple of weeks back, but there was a little bit of a problem that he was having. He had a hole in his leg. Yeah, the hole in his leg was about 3.5 centimeters deep. And he had revealed this information, by the way, on the latest episode or most recent episode of the Stone Cold podcast. Now, it turns out what had happened, he accumulated hardness around a surgical scar that was related to hip surgery that he had recently received. And looks as though there was an infection that eventually broke open and it had to be cut out. So he had a 3.5 centimeter hole in his leg. He told Triple H, hey, man, I'm so sorry, but this is what's going on. I really would love to come do the event. You know, maybe I can come out there, be out there for a few days and, you know, maybe make some media appearances. But Triple H was like, no. You go ahead, take it easy, rest up. No problem. So I don't know how many of you guys were kind of anticipating. For those of you that had saw the Greatest Royal Rumble, I'm not sure how many of you were anticipating a Big Show appearance. I was. Now you know why and what all was going on. So speedy recovery to the Big Show, who just continues to be looking in phenomenal shape within recent months. And we had mentioned Tom McGee. Shout out to him. He is a former WWE wrestler. Wrestled way back in, I definitely remember him in the, feels like late 70s going into the 80s or maybe more so mid 80s, 90s. I'll stay with mid 80s, 90s. I'm a little rusty on Tom McGee, but he's been trending off and on the past couple of days because get this, you can't make this stuff up. So when you see how he used to look in his prime, you know, big, beefy looking dude, man. I mean, cock strong, man. This dude now nowhere near the build that he used to have in his heyday. 60 years old. He is responsible for the neighborhood watch in his neighborhood. He's one of the guys that, you know, makes it be his business, making sure that no harm comes to any of the neighbors, properties and all that are safe. Well, one night he is coming home and he gets into it with some young punk asses over a parking space, basically, who had the right to park there. Not one, not two, not three, not even four, not even five, but six punk ass little bastards took it upon themselves to beat the living hell out of this guy. I mean, this guy was almost one kick away from being put down and dead. All right. That's how serious this was. And shout out to Epic. I insist, Epic, do run the images of how this guy looks currently. It's really heartbreaking. It's definitely, it'll make the eyes very weak when you see how he looks. But when you hear this, you see the images of this poor guy. And to hear that it took six punks, right? Couldn't be one-on-one. It had to be six punk-ass little bastards that decided to do this despicable, heinous act on this guy, on a senior citizen, basically, over a parking space. You know, it's crazy now. I mean, it just ain't safe no more. Just to quote the Busta Rhymes song or the album, it ain't safe no more. I mean, really, seriously, really break this down. You know, we're in this day and age now where there used to be a time in the 80s, hell, even in the 90s, if somebody had cut you off, if somebody didn't turn on their signal and you almost hit their ass, you used to honk your horn. You know, gone are those days where you honk your horn. Now you just kind of have to sit there in silence and take that shit, because if you honk your horn or roll your window down and fuck you or yell whatever explicitive, they may follow you all the way to your job, to your home, and beat the living hell out of you. And that's the straight up God's to honest truth. That's the day and age that we're in right now. Some people will try to run you off the road, and that's what we're in now. In my housing community, it's all homes. Some homes are attached to one another, but it's all homes. And in my little condominium, we have people that are always fighting for parking spaces, right? And it's quite sad because there's no stickers. Now, you've got markers for each designated house, but you got many houses that, okay, well, yeah, this is supposed to be for like, I'm trying to think, how does the parking situation, okay, so you have two parking spaces that's available per house. Then after that, you have the visitors. That's it. So you have some people that are using those visitor spots that have their two initial parking spaces. They're using the parking spots for their third, fourth, and or uh, fifth, sixth vehicle. And I tell you, it's funny. It's really funny because sometimes you'll see people that'll get frustrated. You'll see some people that'll get all bent out of shape and everything. And until the housing committee gets together and changes up the laws and everything, that's just going to continue to be an issue when it's all said and done. But to hear of this particular situation that was going on, and for this guy to get his ass handed to him like that, now look, there's two sides to every story, and then in the middle, there's that silver lining that is the absolute truth, I always say. And sadly, we'll never really know what had happened that night that would result in Tom McGee getting the ass whooping that he had got. But I'm telling you, when you look at everything that this man had suffered, you barely recognize this guy. I mean, he got the shit kicked out of him big time. This went down in front of his Mar Vista home last Tuesday. And as it stands right now, he has a broken jaw, broken eye socket, and a concussion. He's got all that going on. Imagine being 60 years of age and you got all that going on. So, yeah, without a doubt, he needs a speedy recovery, well wishes, all that coming to him big time. All right, so we covered that. What else can we get into on this episode, man? Anything else I want to get into? Yes. I can't believe I had almost forgot about that. A lot had went down since last we were on the air, and I didn't really get into it last week because I was waiting to talk about it with Tammy, and I just kind of want to get it out in the open right now. I really don't want to spend several minutes talking about it because I kind of want to save a little bit for the next Wrestling with the Topics. But for those of you, because I know there's a lot of you guys that definitely are curious with regards to my thoughts on the recent shootings that came about, and hello to who is this? Hello to, I can't pronounce your name. Yes, I can read what you're saying in the chat. Hello to you. Welcome. Shouting out to somebody on Spreaker. With regards to what had went down with the Texas shootings there in Santa Fe, at that school, let me just say this in a nutshell. Again, I don't want to go all balls out into it. I want to save most of what I'm getting ready to say for Wrestling with the Topics because I want to pick on Tammy's brain a little bit on this one. But I'm not going to come on here. I'm not going to say thoughts and prayers. I'm not, no. My new thing I've been saying is thoughts, prayers, but most importantly, resolution. If anything else, above all, resolution. And I got to tell you, to see one of the police officials go up to the podium and say, hey, this is not about a gun issue. Ladies and gentlemen, what went down at this school, as horrific as it was, I know it's going to have a lot of people talking about gun rights, gun issues once again, but when you look at this shooting and you look at the shootings that went down everywhere, what we have going on here is a lack in security. And I could have easily said to this individual and everybody else, no shit. I have been on this show. I've been very consistent with a majority of the shootings that have gone down, and I have pointed out the security flaws that has come about with all of these. And you would like to believe that it would not take 22 shootings in this calendar year alone, that it would not take 22 shootings just for somebody to finally reach the conclusion and say, maybe we need to have better security measures taken. Maybe we need to enforce better security. Seriously, I can remember being a kid and going to some of the roughest schools in the nation's capital. And the way that they would have all the students come in for school, there was only one way you were coming into the building for school. And that one way that you were coming into the building for school, there were metal detectors. And if that metal detector went off, you got pulled to the side, your book bag, all that, your person, all that got checked. And if anything was found on you that was, oh, wait a minute now, this appears to be a weapon. What's going on here? You got detained, you got sent to the principal's office, and your parents were going to have to come up there and they were going to have to do some explaining, and they pretty much were going to have to take you home. That's how it pretty much had went down. And we're talking about we're talking about the 90s, folks. We're talking about the 90s going into almost at the start of the 2000 mark there. Okay? So this was in the 90s. And nobody dare said, "Oh, these metal detectors, this is scary. We shouldn't be coming to school like this. We deserve better. This sends a bad rep. This puts a bad image out there. It makes our school look." No, nobody, none of the kids had said that. Yeah, any one of those kids, including myself, hey, we felt safe. We had extra security that was walking around. I mean, walking around. If you somehow figured out how to get out of your classroom while your teacher was distracted, or your teacher had went and used the restroom or whatever, or had to go to the principal's office to, grab some paperwork or whatever, man, we had security guards that were walking around the floors, making sure there was not one student in the hallway. And if there was a student in the hallway, they would say, "Hey, what are you doing out here? Do you have a pass?" And the pass, the way it was enforced, either you had a pass to go to the principal's office, or you had a pass to go to the nurse's office, or you had a pass from one teacher saying it was okay for you to go see this teacher in classroom, blah, blah, blah. And once that pass was given to that security guard, that security guard would then personally get on the radio, say, "Hey, I'm with, blah, 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 and I'm getting ready to escort them to," that way there could continue to be coverage where that guard was. So, I mean, when I look at all of these incidents that went down, not just with the whole school, but I also look at what had went down with the Pulse nightclub shooting. I look at everything. For me, in the 10 years that I was involved in security, I had to do a little bit of uh, bouncing, but the big bulk of my 10 years experience in security, a lot of CCTV surveillance, a lot of interior, exterior, perimeter patrolling. I can walk into any establishment. I know where the cameras are. I know where everything is. Okay. Each one of these incidents that I'm seeing, there are major security flaws. And I tell you what, until these major security flaws are tackled, we're going to continue to have these issues over and over and over again. And with regards to schools nationwide in North America, there needs to be a serious damn wake up call to start enforcing, okay, all our students are going to be coming in this way, and set it up in such a way where somebody that's trying to do harm to these kids on campus grounds, make it damn near impossible for them to know. You're going to have to kind of walk up close, be like literally looking at the damn security, and good luck trying to fire one off. Until you do stuff like that, put in your metal detectors, have more staff be available. And then, it also wouldn't help. It also wouldn't hurt to also reach out to the community, just how you have volunteers of the neighborhood watch programs. I'm sure that you have volunteers that can pass criminal background checks, make sure that they aren't sexual predators, things of that nature, that they really are truly pillars of their communities. I'm sure that there would be volunteers that would be more than willing to dedicate their time and day to help out at their local schools. I mean, they're willing to do so when it comes to election day. They're willing to do so at churches. They're willing to do so to help out with the homeless. So, that's the type of dialogue that we as a society need to have. We can do everything that we want to do with the whole gun restrictions and everything like that, but what it really just comes down to is good old fashioned, okay, let's take these security measures. You can have all the gun laws you want in the world. You can. I respect the Jimmy Kimmels and everybody else saying what they're saying, but no, at the end of the day, you got to beef it up on better security measures. Shout out to JJ Watt, too, of the Houston Texans. He had coughed up pretty much a big chunk of money, and he's paying for the funeral expenses of all of the victims that were affected by Santa Fe. I wish that we could see more celebrities do like this. And if I understand it correctly, JJ Watts has also coughed up some money to try to help out with better security measures. So, if anything, I would like to see more celebrities. And this is my challenge to all these damn celebrities that want to jump out there and talk about, oh, it's so bad what had went down, with this, and it's so bad that had went down with that. And it's like, can we see all of you celebrities put your money where your mouth is? I mean, my God, what's up with you guys doing a telethon or something like that, and pretty much having your fans raise money, and that basically grand total for what the fans are able to bring to the table. All of you celebrities, you multi-million dollar celebrities, will basically take that jackpot of what the fans were able to put in, and you all will multiply that times 10 because you all got money like that, and distribute that money all around so that all the schools can have some better security measures. It shouldn't have to depend on Warren Buffett, the guy that owns Amazon, or Trump for that matter, or Bill Gates. It shouldn't come down to these guys to step on in and do this. This is something that we really should be able to do collectively ourselves. Until we have some serious conversations like that, this shit's just going to continue to happen, sadly, folks. And that's just the guys to honest truth. I hate to sound so grim about it, but when you really stop and think about it, I'm making some really damn good valid points. Other than that, I also see, and I want to recognize this happening in Fairfax, Virginia in July. I want you guys to check this out. There's going to be a Virginia Comic Con. Now, what makes this really cool is you'll be able to meet the Deadpool creator himself, Rob Liefeld. So for those of you that may be a little bit curious about that event, you can learn more information by going to, I actually had the information on me, but I had closed my windows recently, so bear with me a second here. Yeah, so he's going to be at the Virginia Comic Con, and you can go to the website VA Comic. Am I reading that right? Yeah, VA Comic Con. It doesn't even look like it says Comic Con, honestly. Let me I don't have my glasses tonight, so let's type that in. Yeah, VA Comic on. Yeah, it's tricky. I did read this right. Okay, so you know how normally you say Comic Con, like there's two C's? Well, for this one, there's only one C. So you type in VACOMICON. Again, VA like Virginia, and then comic on like on off. So VA comic on.com. That's how you spell it. And Rob Liefeld, he's gonna actually be there for 2 days. It's gonna be a 2-day Comic-Con event, but he's gonna be there for both days. It's gonna be a lot of cosplay stuff going on. Tickets are really, really affordable. It's gonna be at the Dewberry Hall at George Mason University. That's at 4400 University Drive in Fairfax, Virginia. It's gonna be on June the 9th and June the 10th. As far as the hours go, it looks like it's going to be 11 to 6 p.m. on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Tickets very, very, very affordable. For those of you that are familiar with the Awesome Con, this is a little bit more up your alley as far as the price goes. Very, very inexpensive. So go check that out. I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to be going to an event like that. I'm going to have to talk with the missus and see if maybe we might be interested in doing something like that. We shall wait and see. And one last thing. This should be a no-brainer. But Starbucks, I said this on my personal Facebook page, which was Starbucks had said, oh, you don't need to buy anything to sit in our establishment. You can sit in it as long as you want. That basically is what Starbucks was saying. And one of the first things that I had said as soon as I had saw this news was, that's great, but here's a problem. You're now going to have an increase in the homeless population visiting these establishments, and basically will be loitering all day, and there ain't a damn thing that can be done about it because Starbucks now has this new policy where you don't need to buy anything just to be able to sit down, enjoy yourself, use the restroom. You can use the restroom freely. And sure enough, I think it only took like 4 days after I had said that, where you now have this new series of articles that's running around where Starbucks employees are legitimately concerned about this new policy because they fear homeless people will now be coming in droves and they will be there from opening until closing time. So, nobody wins no matter how you try to cut this. I don't think Starbucks should have implemented this. I really don't. If they were going to implement this, I feel that it should have been implemented for paying customers only. That's my gosh, the honest takeaway from that. You're gonna have to do something. This needs a revision, is basically what I'm saying, because it is going to create some problems. And look, I am a big advocate for helping out the homeless. Off and on in the years, I've definitely have helped out at a few kitchens, donated clothes, food, things of that nature. What I'm concerned about when I hear this new Starbucks policy, I am concerned about the homeless that have poor, deteriorating mental health issues. That's what I'm concerned about. You've got some that are running around with dementia. You have some that honestly, they need to be on their medicine, but because they're homeless, they don't have access to that medicine. I mean, they could be schizophrenic, things of that nature. So, as it stands right now, until there is a serious revision done, this is going to be a serious problem, to the point that I feel that police they're going to receive a lot of calls that they're going to have to remove some of these homeless people. And this is where it gets sticky, because you're going to have some homeless people that are going to be able to say, well, wait a minute, no. I don't have to buy anything. I don't have to buy anything, just like that person over there in that suit. I don't have to buy anything. And I can sit here as long as I want. You guys made the rules. You will have some homeless people that will do this. I believe you will have some homeless people that are mentally sound in mind, that will exploit this and try to use this as an opportunity to get a serious payday from Starbucks that will ultimately force Starbucks to change their policies yet again. So this was poorly executed. I must say, this was poorly executed. They need to go back to the drawing board. But that's my 2 cents on that one. So other than that, really nothing else has been happening since last we were on the air. So I mean, shout out to Steven. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Lil Bracy. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Carolina. Shout out to Mickey. Shout out to Maurice. Shout out to Gino. Shout out to Candy Man. Weekend was good, Gino. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Weekend was very good. Skimming through you guys real quick. Let me see if you guys got any questions here. Hang on. Let's make sure we guys ain't missing no questions from you all. We answered that one. God, you guys said reunite 3MB. Hell no. Hell no. That ain't even no Epic Sports sound clip. Hell no. Will Enzo show up at All In or go to Impact? Why not both? I hate to sound so short there, but seriously, that's a legit question I'm putting to you guys. Why not both? And I'm not even don't even get me started on what that little girl had said after the statement was put out there about Enzo. I'm not even gonna read that. Just seeking attention, as always. That's how she operates. I'm not even gonna go there. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, let me see what else here. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. Okay, so we're good. All right. I'm being queued up that there is a software update and it's going to be kicking in 90 seconds. So I'm going to go on ahead and say your next edition of the RCWR show is going to be coming at you guys on Tuesday night of May the 29th. We'll be on at 10 p.m. Eastern, maybe a couple of minutes before. SmackDown goes off the air. We'll be on the usual platforms. Hopefully, we'll be able to sync in our Facebook audience on the next one. Be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes of the RCWR show you may have missed on the downloads. We're all over the place. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play. The RCWR show has its own app. You can download that for free in the Google Play Store. Just search RCWR show. And yeah. That's pretty much it, man. All over the place. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Use keywords, the RCWR show. I think we're gonna get a wrestling with the topics episode. Like I said, the goal is to have it out before the weekend is out. So if me and Tammy can actually sit down and actually have that together, that would actually be pretty cool. So we'll see how that comes about. So stay tuned for that. But that's gonna do it. I'm wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Everybody, do take care. Good night, good morning.